We want the law to be used in a proper manner. So we'll be going to the U.S. Supreme Court.
This morning on Daybreak, a historic presidential election still not over yet. We'll explain that quote and more coming up.
And a state house race comes down to the wire with the winner winning by less than 40 votes. We'll let you know what race.
Later in the hour, we'll need plenty of analysis on this, so political analyst Dr. Brian Calfano will join to discuss his thoughts on the presidential election. It's all ahead this morning on Daybreak.
Good morning, and thanks for starting your day with us. Today is Wednesday, November 4th. I'm Jennifer Abreu.
And I'm Joe Morano. No clear-cut winner for the presidency decided yet. Joe Biden made a little press conference announcement saying he was confident and wanted patience. Donald Trump said that he didn't want ballots counted after yesterday, and he would take this case to the Supreme Court if needed, as you just heard right there. Yes, so a lot to sort through.
And we'll have much more on that later on this morning. We continue following that map, the AP map we have been following. Still, some states have not called, and they're counting those numbers. OzarksFirst.com, you can follow that map as well.
And we'll have that for you plenty within this next hour here. But meteorologist Beth Finello is joining us this morning first, and she is telling us, get set for another pleasantly warm day today.
Oh, it's just so nice. I opened my windows. I went for a walk yesterday. Probably going to do it again today because temperatures are going to be in the 70s again.
Yeah, you said it's feeling like spring in November, and that's the real winter today. Yeah. I would take that. You know, it doesn't feel like this in November.
No, normally we're in the 60s. We're starting off our day in the 40s. This morning, we're starting off our day in the 50s, and then by this afternoon, we'll be in the 70s again. So satellite and radar showing you a few more clouds than we've been dealing with. Otherwise, we have breezy conditions out of the south. We're looking at temperatures right now at 50 degrees in Springfield, 53 in Monette, 56 in Joplin, and 57 in Camdenton. Winds at about 10 to 15 mile per hour wind gusts. We're running about 10 to 15 degrees warmer than we were at this time yesterday. So as you're heading out the door, you might need some light jackets. Otherwise, you won't need them by this afternoon with those temperatures in the middle 70s. No road hazards this morning. I don't expect any rain chances today, tomorrow, even into this weekend. Another A+ day for you on this Wednesday. We're shooting for a high of about 74 here in Springfield. Warm, breezy, and sunny. Don't forget your sunglasses as you head out the door. And of course, your mask, your phone, your keys, and your wallet as you're starting your day. We've got more on your warm and breezy day, some fire concerns, and more sunshine as we head into the weekend before rain chances return next week. We'll do that in 10 minutes.
All right. Thank
you. Local election results and analysis from your local election headquarters.
Well, this morning we can't tell you officially who the next president of the United States will be, but we do want to take a look at the race for governor. First thing this morning, we do know who our next governor here in Missouri will be. Let's take a look. So Governor Mike Parson will stay in his seat. He took 57% of those votes yesterday.
That's right. He retains his seat, rather, and is able to overtake Nicole Galloway, the Democrat, who garnered 41% of those votes right there. Rick Combs comes in third with 48,000 votes. Jerome Bauer picking up just about 17,000. Now, the race for president, as we've been saying, is still one that is undecided even at this hour. Jen, still several states. This map is on OzarksFirst.com that we've been tracking since last night.
Yeah, and as we take a look at this map, we can see that Joe Biden has 238 of those electoral votes. President Trump, 213. But again, and not all states have called a winner. On this map that you can also follow on OzarksFirst.com, you see those states shaded in blue and red, and those are, predictions. They have not officially called, and we'll have more throughout the day today. So here in Missouri, however, we do have all of precincts reporting. We do know that President Donald Trump did win in Missouri with 57% of those votes, over 1.7 million votes there, with Joe Biden taking 41% of the votes here in Missouri. Joe Jorgensen with just over 40,000 votes, taking 1% of votes here in Missouri. And there were two other candidates as well, Howie Hawkins with just over 8,000 votes, and John Blankenship with 3,800 votes there. And these are the numbers for Missouri, with 100% of precincts reporting. Again, President Donald Trump taking the state of Missouri.
So Missouri votes in line with the presidency, as it does for governor. Again, 100% of the votes in, and Mike Parson will keep that seat. Now, this is officially Governor Parson's first time being elected as Missouri governor. In 2018, he was serving as lieutenant governor when he took over for Eric Greitens after he resigned. Governor Parson says he believes he ran a campaign based on what Missourians truly want.
They want to live their lives in peace. And as long as I'm governor, we're going to do those things.
And Parsons' biggest opponent, Nicole Galloway, held her watch party in Columbia last night. And during her concession speech, Galloway talked about the work ahead as she continues as state auditor.
As state auditor, I have uncovered millions in waste, fraud, and abuse, and taken on corruption at every level. It has been an honor of my life, and you can bet I'll keep demanding accountability and transparency from politicians in Jefferson City for years to come. I'm not going anywhere, Missouri.
Turning now to District 135, which included incumbent Stephen Helms, Democrat candidate Betsy Fogel, and Green Party ticket holder Vicki Kepling. Color 10's Nigel McDonald has been tracking that race. She is in studio this morning with some of those results. Nigel.
Yeah, Joe, well, District 135 represents Northeast and Central Springfield. And after ballots were counted, Democrat Betsy Fogel is up by 34 votes. It's important to note that these results are unofficial, and although all precincts are reporting, possible provisional and additional absentee ballots could change the outcome in a race that is neck and neck. Now, Fogel says conversations surrounding health care launched her initial campaign earlier this year. She says we live in a time where access to health care has never been more important.
I think that our neighbors deserve access to health care. That's kind of the pivotal issue that made me want to launch this campaign in the first place. My background's in public health, and I want to carry that momentum with me and represent my community in Jeff City.
Well, Fogel is a product of Springfield Public Schools and has worked in the public health field all of her professional career.
All right, Naja, thank you. Looking at election news from around the region now, the first ever black woman to represent Missouri has been elected. Democrat Cori Bush, running for House District 1, which includes St. Louis City and North County, won with more than 78% of the vote. She received over 245,000 votes to her Republican opponent.
We also want to talk about the race for Secretary of State. All votes in for this one. Jay Ashcroft keeps that seat. 1.7 million people voting for the Republican right there. Yinka Faletti finishes in second. Ashcroft spoke to us about the election process and his thoughts on the win.
Really didn't see many problems. I said we were making elections boring again. That's what we want. We want it easy, simple, safe, and secure for the people of the state, and it was.
Of course, as a reminder, all of your final election results can be found over on ozarksfirst.com. We've got what you need from national races all the way down to the local ones. You go to ozarksfirst.com, click on the Vote 2020 tab. The results will also be running on the bottom of your screen for the rest of Daybreak.
Our Color 10 Live Drive has those dry roads and the sun's starting to come up. I expect a lot of sunshine today. We're starting off this morning warm in the 50s, and we're going to be warm through the day today, middle 70s expected, and we can keep that through the rest of this week and into the weekend. We'll do more on that right after the break.
And now weather with meteorologist Beth Finello, certified by WeatherRate for the most accurate forecast in the Ozarks.
Good morning and happy Wednesday. Starting off this morning warmer than we were yesterday, 50 degrees right now in Springfield. South winds at about 11 miles per hour. Because of the winds that we saw through the overnight hours that were breezy out of the south, temperatures didn't tumble into the lower 40s. So we're actually running about 10 to 15 degrees warmer than we were at this time yesterday morning. And you'll be able to feel it as you're heading out the door. It's 50 right now in Springfield, 52 in Rolla, 50 in Lake Ozark, and 56 in Joplin. Winds out of the south at about 5 to 15 miles per hour. That will continue as we head through the day today. Otherwise, quiet conditions. That is not the case everywhere. We're still tracking the tropics. Tropical storm Ada has 68-mile-per-hour winds over Honduras, made landfall yesterday as a Category 4 storm. It's expected to reemerge over the Caribbean later this week and into the weekend. And now the state of Florida is in the cone of uncertainty. Of course, this is still several days out. Things could change, but that is something that we'll have to keep an eye on. Back here, we'll have a couple of clouds to start off the day and a couple of clouds as we head throughout much of the day. We have this area of high pressure sitting over the Carolinas. That's bringing those breezy winds out of the south that we'll see for much of your Wednesday. We also do have a few more clouds today, but I don't expect mostly cloudy skies. I do expect sunshine. I expect mild and breezy conditions. Those clouds will move out tonight. Tomorrow, more sunshine expected. Still warm. Temperatures in the 70s, and that's what Futurecast will show you. Overnight tonight, we're dropping back into the 50s again. Another open window weather kind of night. And as we head through the day tomorrow, we'll have those 70s again. Breezy conditions today, anywhere between 20 and 25-mile-per-hour wind gusts will be possible. And because of that, we have a fire concern for the day, elevated fire concerns. We have dry air, dry ground conditions, and those gusty winds. So you are going to want to limit your outdoor burning for the day today. We're going to stay mild in the middle 70s. Our normal daytime high is 62 degrees, so we are above average for this time of year. We'll be in the middle 70s for the rest of this week and into the weekend, and then into Monday before rain chances move in and drop our temperatures back into the 50s. Our pattern doesn't change again a whole lot as we head to the end of this week. When we get into the weekend, that jet stream or that path of storminess will take a dip, and that usually indicates more active weather, and that's what we'll see at the beginning of next week. We have rain chances on Monday, and then a front will come in on Tuesday. That will bring in more rain chances and cooler conditions. So here's what you can expect. Warm and breezy today with those highs in the middle 70s. Winds anywhere between 10 and 20 miles per hour, gusts up to 25, and some high cloudiness. Elevated fire concerns today as well, so limit your outdoor burning. Temperatures in the middle 70s. 74 degrees today, a lot of sunshine. 48 overnight tonight with a few clouds. 74 tomorrow, still plenty of sunshine, and we keep the sunshine as we head into Friday, still in the middle 70s. Warm and breezy again on Saturday, still in the 70s Sunday and Monday before rain chances come in on Tuesday, tumbling temperatures into the 50s.
All right. We've got some birthdays happening right now. Matthew McConaughey. Did you get that reference? Anyone?
Yes.
No?
Oh my God. I totally forgot about
Wow.
this. Sorry,
Come
my
on
head was
over.
like somewhere else
Scooch
today.
over.
My bad.
Oscar winner from Dallas Buyers Club and, associate professor at the University of Texas. You know he has that title?
Sure.
Yeah.
What is he teaching? What is he teaching? What's the?
Actually, I did know that. I don't know what he teaches, though.
I knew that, but I don't know what he teaches.
Some form of
Anyone?
community relations stuff. I'm not sure. But he's working there. Loves those Longhorns.
Oh, culture?
Texas
Okay,
culture.
our camera off. Matt is telling us it's something to do with culture.
He is 58.
I was going to say, is he 50? 50?
55.
Somewhere.
Did we go too high? 51. Close. All right. No problem.
We're close.
Sorry, Matthew.
Happy birthday to him. Happy birthday to another actor that's been around for a while, the Karate Kid, Ralph Macchio. You know him from the Karate Kid, and now everyone knows him from Cobra Kai. I can't stop hearing people talk about this
I
show.
have not watched it yet, but I need
Jeremy
to.
Rabe on Ozarks Fox AM loves it.
Love Cobra
speaking
Kai.
highly.
All right.
We got to guess quick on this one. I'm going to
30.
say he is
37.
51.
What? We're all over the place.
Oh.
59. All right. No problem.
When was this photo taken? Like 20 years ago? This is crazy.
Recent. That's recent.
Wow.
Oh, also my cousin
He
Vinny.
looks
He needs
great.
that shout out.
Love that.
Happy birthday to our viewers too.
Yes, let's say happy birthday to Jeff this morning, and happy birthday to Tabitha. Happy birthday, Kimberly Riggs, and happy birthday to Candy Rudolph. And thanks for sharing your birthday with us. If you want us to announce your birthday or anniversary here, send us an email to birthdays@caller10.com.
We've got to take a closer look at the presidential race when we come back on Daybreak. Don't go anywhere, everyone. Plenty of things that we're watching around the country. Now, one of the topics we're looking at this morning is full control of the Senate. Democrats are still hoping to win key races right now in Maine, North Carolina, Georgia, and Arizona in order to complete their so-called blue wave, and if they do so, would have control of both the House and Senate.
We are also watching some interesting issues being decided on around the nation. Out west, Oregon has become the first state to decriminalize the possession of hard drugs. This is supposed to steer efforts to rehab and treatment rather than prison time.
Over in California, Uber and Lyft are expected to prevail in a ballot measure exempting them from state labor law. That means drivers would be classified as independent contractors, and while it would disqualify them for benefits granted to employees, the measure also entitles drivers to new benefits like minimum earnings and vehicle insurance.
In Mississippi, voters have decided to replace the Confederate-themed state flag with one that promotes a state symbol, the magnolia blossom. The flower design got 68% of the vote, replacing the 126-year-old banner that incorporated a version of the Confederate flag.
We're starting off this morning with temperatures in the 50s, a couple of 40s out there, but warmer than it was at this time yesterday. Also have a little bit more in the way of some high cloudiness this morning. 50 degrees right now in Springfield, southerly winds at 11 miles per hour, 57 in Camdenton, 50 in Lake Ozark, 52 in Rolla this morning. We're actually running 10 to 15 degrees warmer than we were at this time yesterday. I expect dry roads for the morning commute and dry roads for the evening commute with a lot of sunshine expected today. And again, those temperatures topping off in the 70s. So kids, as you're heading out the door, we've got warmer conditions. You'll need probably just a light jacket. Those temperatures in the 50s. Then as we head through dismissal, temperatures will be in the 40s. Warm and breezy conditions for the day today. We'll have those 60s by lunchtime, 70s by this afternoon. Wind gusts anywhere between 20 and 25 miles per hour will be possible today. So there is an elevated fire concern. Some good news on your electric bill. No heat needed today or tomorrow. And I don't think you're going to need to turn the AC on, possibly not until Friday or Saturday when we start to creep up into those upper 70s, but still plenty of sunshine. If you are going apple picking, we'll have those 70s. It's going to be beautiful for the next couple of days. Green apples for the rest of this week and even into this weekend. Don't forget to download the Color 10 weather app for weather on the go. It gives you your hour-by-hour forecast, and we'll have that 7-day forecast on there as well for you. No rain chances the rest of this week and into the weekend. You'll notice, though, those rain chances start to uptick as we head into the beginning of next week, and that's when temperatures will dip back into the 50s as a cold front moves in, bringing in some cooler, more fall-like conditions.
All right, Beth, thank you. It is 6:20 right now, and coming up next, we have more election results for you, but we're switching gears for a little bit because, as always, on Wednesdays, we are making a pet connection. Watching Over Whiskers are with us here today, and when we come back, we'll have those details. Stay with us.
Welcome back, everyone. We've got more Republican winners to go through in Missouri. This is for State Senate District 33. 100% of the votes are in for this one. Carla Esslinger is going to get that. 64,000 votes. That's more than Tammy Hardy, who pulled in 12,000. Again, that's for District 133.
Also checking results for State House District 62, and that was a race between Bruce Sassman, the Republican, and Nancy Reagan, the Democrat, and Sassman taking 80% of those votes, with 100% of precincts reporting over 14,000 votes for Bruce Sassman, the Republican. Nancy Reagan, the Democrat, taking 20% of the votes, just over 3,600 votes there.
All the votes in for State House 130 as well. It's Bishop Davidson who's going to get a win over Dave Gregg that you see right there. All votes accounted for, 14,500 votes to 4,000 for Davidson.
State House District 131, a race between Bill Owen, the Republican, and Allison Schoolcraft, the Democrat, in that race. And with 100% of precincts reporting, Bill Owen with 66% of the votes taking District 131, with just over 10,000 votes there, and Allison Schoolcraft with 5,500 votes.
We've got another race to address here. State House District 136. It is Craig Fischel, the Republican, who has 59% of the votes to take down Jeff Munzinger, who gets just under 10,000 there. So another Republican win for State House District 136.
Are back with another Pet Connection, and this morning we have Diana Forbes with Watching Over Whiskers. Good morning.
Good morning.
So tell us who we have here today.
Well, you have Maddox and I have Bo. We lovingly refer to him as Bobo, believe it or not. Now, they are both about 5 months old, and now Maddox over there has actually a very interesting backstory. He was found by some hikers who saw him drop by a crow. Oh, wow. So now he did have some damage to his jaw, but that has been repaired, and he doesn't seem to have any lasting effects. These two both live with other cats and kittens that they love, and a couple small dogs. So now this guy here that I have, Bo, he is more of a kind of a lap kitty and just really loves to be loved on. Now, Maddox, as you can see there a little bit, is a little bit more independent.
Yes, he's like, I kind of want to get down just a little.
Now, they are a bonded pair, so they will have to be adopted together. Yes.
And so, how soon are they available for adoption?
They are available right now. They are fully vetted and been neutered, ready to go.
And so, have they been around dogs as well?
Yeah, just small dogs.
Small dogs?
Yes.
And about how old are they?
About 5 months old.
And so if someone wants to adopt the pair, how can they do that?
They would apply online, which is watchingoverwhiskers.org. And there's, you can adopt, you can apply to foster, and to donate also.
Okay, well, again, we have Maddox and Bo, joined by Diana Forbes with Watching Over Whiskers, and they are looking for their new home. So if you're interested, go ahead and visit their website, but we will be back right after the break.
And now weather with meteorologist Beth Finello, certified by WeatherRate for the most accurate forecast in the Ozarks.
Good morning and happy Wednesday. We've got a couple of clouds out there this morning. That's not going to affect our temperatures at all today. 50 degrees right now in Springfield. Southerly winds at about 11 miles per hour. It's warm, 57 in Camdenton, 56 in Joplin, and 41 in West Plains. About 10 to 15 degrees warmer than we were at this time yesterday. So as you're heading out the door, you might need a light jacket in some places. You won't need it by this afternoon. Temperatures will be topping off in the 70s with plenty of sunshine expected. Maybe a few high clouds out there. I expect no rain today. I expect no road hazards as you're heading out the door. 50s for the morning bus stop. So again, you might need a light jacket. Middle 70s by the time we head through dismissal. Also breezy conditions expected today. Anywhere between 20 and 25 miles per hour possible. So there is an elevated fire concern for the day today. So you are going to want to limit your outdoor burning. We keep the 70s for the rest of this week and into the weekend.
We are your local election headquarters, and we want to tell you about the governor race here in Missouri. Too early to call the presidential race right now, but we do have numbers for Missouri, and we want to start out with the numbers for governor.
And you see the check mark. It'll be Mike Parson that keeps his seat over Nicole Galloway. 57% of the vote. That's 1.7 million votes cast for him by Missourians. Nicole Galloway finishes in second there. That's followed by Rick Combs and Jerome Bauer. Now, as we said, the national race for president, it's something that's still undecided. In fact, we just got news. The Nevada Voting Commission has said it will not release its results until at least tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock West Coast time. So that's why you see this right here. Joe Biden was leading. You won't get any Nevada updates today. That might be a trend we see here, Jen.
Yeah, so we know other states that have also not called the winner there. So we'll be watching for Nevada tomorrow at 9 a.m. That's when we can expect to know more as they count those absentee and mail-in ballots there. Now, we do know the winner for Missouri, and we do want to let you know about those numbers here. With 100% of precincts reporting in Missouri, as expected, no big surprise here. President Donald Trump taking 57% of the votes in Missouri, winning our state with over 1.7 million votes there. Joe Biden with 41% of the votes, 1.2 million votes for him. 1% of the votes in Missouri going to Joe Jorgensen, just over 40,000 votes there, almost 41,000. Howie Hawkins and Don Blankenship were also on the ballot. Howie Hawkins taking over 8,000 votes and Don Blankenship 3,800 votes for him. And this is the race here in Missouri for United States President. And again, President Donald Trump taking the state of Missouri with 58% of the votes.
He gets those electoral votes. We also have a look at the U.S. House District 7 seat. Billy Long won this back in 2010. He keeps it once more. Billy Long is able to pick up 251,000 votes right there. That's good for 69%, and that'll beat Kevin Craig in a bit of a landslide.
We also want to take a look at the race for U.S. House District 4 here in Missouri. 68% of those votes going to the Republican Vicky Hartzler, who has been in that seat since 2010. She is taking over 245,000 votes. Lindsey Simmons, the Democrat in this race, taking 30% of those votes. And this is with 100 of precincts reporting for U.S. House District 4.
In the battle for State House 132, Crystal Quaid, one of the few Democrats in Missouri to win this. She was the House Minority Leader, and she's going to keep that role as she was able to beat Sarah Semple, 63% to 37%. It's Crystal Quaid bringing in 7,174 votes.
And now taking a look at State House District 133, Curtis Trent, the Republican, and Cindy Slimp, the Democrat in this race. Curtis Trent taking 65% of the votes, just over 12,000 votes there for him, and 6,800 votes for Cindy Slimp, a total of 35% of those votes for State House District 133.
On the ballot, you saw the race for State House District 134 as well. It was between Alex Riley and Derek Nowlin. All the votes in for that as well. This one a little bit closer right now, just about 2,000 votes separating the two, but Alex Riley with 10,258 votes will keep that seat.
And we want to mention that most counties voted on some races that you don't see rolling on the bottom of your screen this morning. Races like county sheriff, for example, and that's because those races were run unopposed. For example, every county within our viewing area in Missouri had a sheriff's race on the ballot. All of them were unopposed, meaning only one candidate was on the ballot, and so was the only one who people could vote for. And now let's catch you up on how the markets look. The Nikkei closed up 399 points. The Dow also gained 554 points, and the Nasdaq also gaining 202 points. We will be right back here on Daybreak. In the meantime, we hope you will find us wherever you get your podcasts and subscribe. Just search for Color 10 News. We'll be right back.
And now weather with meteorologist Beth Finello, certified by WeatherRate for the most accurate forecast in the Ozarks.
Good morning and happy Monday. Starting off this morning with temperatures in the 50s. It's 50 degrees right now in Springfield. Southerly winds at about 11 miles per hour. We're about 10 to 15 degrees warmer than we were at this time yesterday, courtesy of the southerly winds that kept us warm through the overnight hours. 57 in Camdenton, 54 in Clinton, 56 in Joplin. A little bit cooler down towards West Plains where it's 41 and it's 47 in Mountain Grove. Winds again out of the south at about 10 to 15 miles per hour, and that continues through the day today. Otherwise, we'll be quiet here locally. Not the case everywhere. Still tracking the tropics of what is currently Tropical Storm Eta. That made landfall yesterday as a Category 4 storm in Honduras and is expected to continue over land for at least the next day or two. Then it's expected to make its way back over the Caribbean, and now the state of Florida is in the cone of uncertainty. Of course, still several days away, just something that we'll keep an eye on. No impact here locally. Today we'll just have a couple of clouds. And that's pretty much it. We have this area of high pressure over the Carolinas. That's going to bring in those southerly winds, and that's what's going to allow for temperatures to warm up into the 70s today. We'll have a few more clouds than we did yesterday. I still expect those temperatures in the 70s, and I expect most of us to see sunny skies today. Those will move out overnight tonight, and then as we head into tomorrow, I do expect a lot of sunshine and warm conditions again, and that's what Futurecast will show you. Tonight, another open window weather kind of night with those temperatures in the 50s. Tomorrow, lots of sunshine again, and in the 70s. It's going to be breezy today. Gusts anywhere between 20 and 25 miles per hour will be possible. Not only is that going to help push our temperatures up into the 70s, but that is also going to bring a elevated fire concern as we head through the afternoon. We have all of the ingredients: dry air, dry ground conditions, and gusty winds, so you are going to want to limit your outdoor burning for the day today. Otherwise, warm conditions in the 70s, and we keep that into the end of this week and even into the weekend and for at least the beginning of next week. Our normal daytime high, by the way, is 62, so we are over 10 degrees warmer than we should be for this time of year. Our mild pattern sticks around again through the weekend, and then that dip in the jet stream, or that path that storms tend to take, is usually an indication that we're going to have some more active weather, and that's what will happen. We'll have that chance of showers on Monday. A cold front will swing in on Tuesday, and that could bring in possibly a strong storm or two, maybe some heavier pockets of rain, and behind that front will be colder conditions for much of next week. So here's what you can expect. Warm and breezy today with highs in the middle 70s. Winds anywhere between 10 and 20 miles per hour, gusts up to 25 possible. Some high cloudiness today, otherwise elevated fire concerns, so you are going to want to limit your outdoor burning. Temperatures will be in the middle 70s as we are quiet into this weekend. 74 degrees today, warm and breezy. 48 overnight tonight with a few clouds. 74 tomorrow, plenty of sunshine, and we keep that as we head into Friday with those temperatures still in the 70s. We keep 70s Saturday and Sunday. We'll start to increase clouds as we head through Sunday into Monday. A chance of showers on Monday, and then that cold front comes in, bringing us shower chances on Tuesday, and temperatures drop back into the 50s.
Thank you, Beth. We need to talk more elections this morning. Our political analyst, Dr. Brian Calfano, up early once more. You saw him last night, back at it, but this is your time of year, right? How busy are you this time of year?
Oh, I am busy. I'm really busy. In fact, I'm so busy, I'm going to start stealing some of Beth's terminology. I think we need to put cone of uncertainty into this entire discussion of this presidential race.
Oh, my gosh.
This entire presidential race is in the cone of uncertainty.
I like that. And yeah, that is very appropriate. I told Beth yesterday, use some election terminology in your weather, but we're doing the opposite because you're right. It's very fitting. Cone of uncertainty. That's where we are this morning.
And that's
no kidding.
Even up to the minute. Within the last few minutes, we found out the Nevada elections has tweeted out it will not release any updates until at least Thursday morning. So we're here at 6:40 in the morning on Wednesday. That's a whole lot of time to pass, but there's still ballots to be counted, and this goes against what a lot of people are probably waking up trying to get a feel and see who the president will be. Are you surprised that Nevada's made this move?
A little bit, but by the same token, it's the responsible thing to do. And we're not going to have the election decided by Nevada, obviously. So you're really looking at a longer slog and figuring out what's going on with Pennsylvania and Michigan and Wisconsin, that so-called blue wall. Mm-hmm. You know, we've become so used to the idea of election night being an event, and like the Super Bowl or whatever, there's a winner at the end, and then you go to bed and whatever happens next happens next. But in reality, you're not looking at certification of the vote totals across the various states and Washington, D.C. until the end of this month anyway. So this play in the joints sort of thing in terms of when things actually are counted, when everything becomes official and all of that, I mean, we're in no way off schedule. In fact, I think it's more responsible to take our time, make sure these votes are counted properly, correctly, and accurately as possible, and then make a decision in terms of what we do next.
Now, Brian, it's interesting you say that we are so used to having those results Tuesday night, and what Nevada is doing is the responsible thing to do. We heard President Trump saying that he wanted states to stop counting and that he would take this issue to the Supreme Court. Is that a valid thing to say? Is there any truth to that? Is that possible? And how would that work if so?
Well, it's the truth that he obviously had said it, but there's no evidence of any kind of reason to stop. It's not as if there's something that's been uncovered that these are fraudulent ballots. These are ballots that were cast, and they were done so, as far as all evidence suggests, in the proper form for the state in which they're being cast. And remember, there's over 3,000 local entities that actually run our elections. That includes Greene County and Christian County and Polk County. The clerks in these counties, the boards of elections around the country, are responsible for verifying the eligibility ballots. So to suggest that everybody's in cahoots here and they're all trying to throw the election to Biden has no evidence behind it whatsoever, and honestly doesn't do anybody any good because it delegitimizes the outcome. I mean, if President Trump ends up winning in the end, and he's gone around talking about how there's been all of this fraudulent ballot counting going on, well, where does that place him then if he ends up winning this? It's not exactly a strategy that makes a lot of sense in my estimation.
Last night watching the coverage, I heard the year 2000 thrown around a lot. You've been doing this for a while. Can you compare this to anything you've seen before in past elections?
No, it's really, if it's the year 2000, it's 2000 times 3. I mean, because you're looking at that blue wall and you're trying to figure out, with Wisconsin, is it Metro Milwaukee? We're waiting for those ballots to come back. Is that why this thing is still slowly being counted? What about Michigan? Is it Metro Wayne, with Detroit, and then, of course, you've got the two major metros in Pennsylvania. With Florida, it was more an issue with the call, and the network's going with the early call for Gore. They pulled it back, they gave it to Bush, and they pulled it back again. In this case, it's more, no, we're actually trying to make sure we do this right, and the pressure to just deliver some kind of resolve, that needs to be put to the side. Unfortunately, it's not just President Trump. It's Associate Justice Brett Kavanaugh in a recent decision from last week saying that there's an expectation of a winner declared on election night. There's no such expectation grounded in any kind of law. So everybody has to take a step back and recognize what the facts are in this situation. The facts are the certification of these results happens by the end of the month for all the states plus Washington, D.C. This is the 4th of November. We have several days until we have to be certifying results officially.
All right, so you're telling us stay patient as those numbers come in.
Cone
this is the
of
process.
Uncertainty. Cone of uncertainty.
There it is. Yes. Shout out, Beth.
Yeah, we're staying in that cone of uncertainty, but patient and trusting that process, and we'll keep you updated as we find out more. Brian, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thanks, folks.
All right, stay with us, everyone. Daybreak in 10 is up next when we come back. And welcome back, everyone. It is that time for Daybreak in 10 on Color 10.
We are on the air with you for the next 10 minutes without commercials beginning right now. And first, let's head on over to meteorologist Beth Finella with our forecast first. Good morning, Beth.
Good morning, everyone. We've got a few clouds on satellite and radar this morning. No rain chances, though, as you're heading out the door. And it's noticeably warmer than it was yesterday morning. We're starting off our day this morning with temperatures in the 50s. 50 degrees right now in Springfield, 57 in Camdenton, 56 in Joplin, 47, though, out in Mountain Grove. We are still running about 10 to 15 degrees warmer than we were at this time yesterday, with a lot of sunshine expected today. We've got dry roads for all of the commutes. Kids, you are going to need a light jacket at the bus stop this morning with those temperatures in the 50s, but it is warmer than it was yesterday. Warm and breezy today. Plenty of sunshine. And temperatures in the 70s. Then overnight tonight, temperatures will drop into the 50s. Again, a few clouds. Tomorrow, plenty of sunshine again with those temperatures in the 70s. It's going to be breezy today. Gusts anywhere between 20 and 25 miles per hour will be possible with dry air mass in place and dry ground conditions. There is an elevated fire concern today, so you do want to limit your outdoor burning for the day today. So here's what you can expect. Warm and breezy with those highs in the middle 70s. Winds, gusts anywhere between 20 and 25 miles per hour. Some high cloudiness is possible. Otherwise, looking at elevated fire concerns, so you do want to limit your outdoor burning. Temperatures in the middle 70s for the rest of this week and into the weekend. We don't have any rain chances until the beginning of next week.
First up on the elections that we want to get to here is the race for Missouri governor between Mike Parson, who took over this seat in 2018, facing Nicole Galloway, Jen.
That's right. So we have those numbers in with 100% of precincts reporting here in Missouri, and Mike Parson will retain his seat as Missouri governor. It is the first time he is running for governor. He took over the seat in 2018 and ran for the first time this year. 57% of the votes going to him, 1.7 million votes there. Nicole Galloway taking 41% of those votes, 1.2 million votes for her. And Rick Holmes as well, and Jerome Bauer were also running for governor here in Missouri.
Now, the race for president is one that's still undecided. Even right now, you just heard Dr. Calfano talk about that. Nationwide polls show that Joe Biden still has 238 electoral votes, President Trump with 213. That's about 7 states, though, still undecided right now. This is on ozarksfirst.com, and it is very interactive. You can click and see which is which and what needs to happen in order for each candidate to win. You can look at that now, but as of now, no president decided for the U.S.
And as some states are still waiting to call a winner, we do know the numbers here for Missouri. So let's take a look. President Trump taking 57% of the votes here in Missouri. That's just over 1.7 million votes for him. 41% of the voters in Missouri voted for Joe Biden, with 1.2 million voters voting for him. Joe Jorgensen taking almost 41,000 votes there, with 1% of registered voters here in Missouri voting for her. Also on the ballot, Howie Hawkins and Don Blankenship. Howie Hawkins with just over 8,000 votes, and Blankenship 3,800 votes for him. So President Donald Trump taking Missouri with 58% of the votes.
Also on those Missouri ballots, Amendment 3. That's got a lot of attention leading up to these elections, and it does come with some controversy. If passed, it would undo an amendment that voters approved only 2 years ago. Nija McDonald was tracking that race. She joins us in studio now with the results. Nija.
Yeah, Joe, good morning. Clean Missouri, which passed in 2016, set up a nonpartisan state demographer to draw district lines instead of a commission appointed by the governor. Now, last night, the vote came down to the last precinct, and with 51% of the votes, voters decided to change it back to how things were and also make some small changes to campaign contributions and lobbyist gifts. Now, this means that instead of a nonpartisan state demographer deciding the state's legislative districting, it will return to being done by bipartisan commissions appointed by the governor. These commissions are being renamed the House Independent Bipartisan Citizens Commission and the Senate Independent Bipartisan Citizens Commission. It will consist of 20 members each.
To go back to the process of bipartisan commission, which has served the state of Missouri well over decades, giving us both Democrat and Republican controlled legislatures.
Well, the amendment also changes the criteria used to draw district maps, as well as lowering the threshold of lobbyists' gifts from $5 to $0. Campaign contribution limits for state Senate campaigns is also lowered from $2,500 to $2,400.
Nija, thank you. And in Greene County, no major issues among polling locations or at the election center were reported in Springfield. Voter turnout currently sitting at almost 83%. With 2 precincts left to report, and this is more than the Greene County Clerk's Office had predicted, between 75 and 80%. In total, about 30,000 Greene County voters cast absentee or mail-in ballots, and so far, nearly 109,000 voted in person yesterday. Now, here's what comes next. Greene County Clerk Shane Scholler says the clerk's office will be catching up on tasks that had been put on hold, but as far as elections, there is still work to be done today.
Thursday is really our bigger day. That's when we take all of the tabulation equipment and we post-test it. And so we want to make sure that the machines were tabulating correctly on election day, because again, those results are uncertified. But Wednesdays kind of bring back the equipment, get a little bit of a breather, and then get ready for Thursday.
There were a few issues with voting machines when the polls opened, but Scholler says that's to be expected when scanners are being transported from one place to another.
We do have some non-election local news for you. Springfield's first medical marijuana dispensary had a line of its own on Tuesday as the old Route 66 dispensary opened up to cardholders there. It was the first time that it opened up to the public, and in fact, they opened an hour earlier than scheduled because a line already started forming. It almost got backed up to Glenstone. The drive-through was getting people in and out, and the staff was happy to see the business come to fruition.
It's been a journey from the beginning. Our team, we put it all on the line. We bought this building before we even got the license, and we risked a lot, but it's going to be worth it. We know patients personally that have to have this, including ourselves, and we're just super excited to get going.
Right now, they're only selling medical marijuana in flower form, but the owner there anticipates that other forms will be manufactured, hopefully by the end of the year.
A candlelight vigil is being planned in Springfield for Caleb Slay, the man shot and killed Monday afternoon by DEA agents. In a statement from the St. Louis division of the DEA, officials say just before the shooting, agents approached a person they thought was involved in a violation of federal law. The statement goes on to say during the conversation between the agents and that individual, a second individual, later identified as Caleb Slay, approached the agents. Soon after, a physical altercation between the agents and Slay happened, which resulted in Slay being shot. Slay was pronounced dead at the scene. A firearm was recovered at the scene as well. The candlelight vigil will be held at the Kickapoo High School football field beginning at 5:30 on Saturday.
The Cedar County Sheriff's Office is asking the public to keep an eye out for a prisoner who escaped from custody in El Dorado Springs. Sheriff James McCrary said Christian Myers escaped while he was being taken to a hospital for care there. He was being held on charges of burglary and stealing. He's in his 20s, 6'1", and weighs 160 pounds. Anyone who sees Myers or has information about his whereabouts should contact authorities.
And now here's a look at what's coming up after daybreak.
Coming up, it's a race to 270 electoral college votes, and it's too close to call. President Trump is claiming victory while Joe Biden calls for patience. The absolute latest on the presidential and congressional elections, coming up on CBS This Morning.
We always check the trends of what people are talking about. What do you think they're talking about today, guys?
You know, I don't know.
What do you think?
The cone of uncertainty.
That's
Exactly,
it. That's where we're at
right now. A lot of election question marks regarding the presidency. Go to ozarksfirst.com. This map from the AP is right on our homepage, and that's actually pretty interactive as you're able to click on certain states, see those electoral votes get delegated to each candidate, and you kind of play out your own scenario, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. It's
you can
very
go through the
interesting.
counties too.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, and it gives you the electoral college number, it gives you the percent, it gives you all kinds of stuff. I was playing with it this morning.
Yeah, it's very interesting. You can learn a lot. So we know Nevada is not updating their numbers, however, until tomorrow morning.
Right.
That we learned that this morning.
Mail-in voting, provisional ballots, absentee ballots,
Right.
all those still have to be counted. So a lot of updates coming. Stay tuned to CBS This Morning for those updates. And get outside today at some point. Right?
Yeah, open the windows. We're in the 70s, people. Come on. It's really nice for this time of year. 70s the rest of this week and into the weekend before rain chances return at the beginning of next week and a temperature drop as well.
All right, it is feeling like spring in November. We'll take it. Thanks, Beth. And thanks for joining us here on Daybreak. We'll see you for more election results at 11.